morning, everyone. It's another edition of Roundtable, reaching you from the People's Telly, and I must say happy anniversary to all of us, even if you were not born at that time, if you were not up to 50 years, or you are from Ogun State, it's still our state, and we are celebrating 50 years anniversary, and you know, that's huge, and a whole lot of programs have been lined up for the celebration of the Golden Jubilee. Well, I'm alive, and I know that in the next 50 years, when we're going to celebrate the centenary, I should be here. God willing. So good morning, the Insala Gubadiwa is my name. What we're going to be talking about this morning is just about our state. We are celebrating Ogun State. Now, I'm not here alone, you know that already. My colleague is here, and you know, this morning she looks, I love the combination of colors, as if we plan to use off-white. I don't know why she's tying off-white scarf, but I love it. It goes with what she's wearing. Ma'am Katie, how are you doing today?
The compliment is big. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Happy anniversary to us.
Thank you, wishes. Yes, it's Roundtable this morning. Welcome, and I'm glad to, be on your screen this morning together with my co-presenter, Doisola. We'll be, keeping you busy for the next 1 hour thereabout. So keep yourself glued to your screen. We are talking about the gateway state, Ogun State, the only state that has acquired the status of the industrial hub of Nigeria and the industrial capital of the nation. Yes, we are celebrating our 50th birthday, and it's a milestone when you're talking about the celebration of existence. 50 is not just a joke. Together with other states created by former President Muritala Mohammed, I'm trying to, to let us know that the states have been doing better. All the states created, and Ogun State is not of exception. We've come a long way talking about the achievements, governance, and every other thing that we can, talk about a state. So on that note, I'm welcoming you to the program this morning, and the topic today is of course, like you've said, like you've heard from the intro from Doisola's, welcoming remark. It's about Ogun at 50, the future expectation as we mark 50th anniversary of Ogun State. And you know what we do on Roundtable. I'm not alone. And we have the guest in the studio who will be helping us to do justice to the conversation this morning. So join us as we welcome Honorable Tola Banjo. Is a former Deputy Speaker, Ogun State House of Assembly. Good morning, Honorable Tola Banjo.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being part of the conversation this morning. And of course, from my far left is another guest from the state government, and is Prince Wale Oyekoya, a public affairs analyst. Good morning. Nice having you join us.
Happy anniversary.
Hey, congratulations to all of us. Yes, looking at Prince Wale, I know 50th is not it's not like it's not like a number to you, but of course it's a year that you can be proud to say, oh, looking at you, you're more than 50, and you could talk about what it means to celebrate 50. So let me start from you. Ogun is marking a historic 50 years of creation. From your perspective as an individual, what does you think Golden Jubilee fully represent for the people of Ogun State in terms of developmental achievement?
Well, first of all, I have to congratulate all the residents of Ogun State. And it's not easy to be marking 50th anniversary of a state. Looking backward and looking forward, and looking at the present situation of the state, I believe all the progressive government that have been having from the time of the creation of this state since February 3rd, 1976, they've been doing very wonderful to Ogun State, and it's something that we have to emulate. It's something that every Ogun State indigents are really proud of. Starting from our Baba, we cannot take anything away from Baba Sanjay, because when this state was created, he was in government with Murtala Muhammad. I think he was the chief of staff then. And looking at the name didn't just come just like that. Ogun come from the river Ogun. That is how it's been named as Ogun State, which was derived from the old Western regions. And if you look back to what have really happened, right from Obasanjo, right from Obafemi Awolowo, when he gave the free education to most of the states in the Western countries then, and Ogun State is still one of the best when it comes to education in the country right now. So, and looking backward from the first administration that we have up to this present, I think yes, everybody have been doing their best. As everybody knows, government is a continuity. If you can come to 50 years, you can look at how many administrations have come and go. So at the same time, you have to support the present administrations.
Thank you so much, Prince Wale Oyikoya. Yes, coming to you, Honorable Tola Banjo, governance, legislation, and of course institutional growth. Talking about the creation of Ogun State since 1976, the first military administrator that when he came on board, it was like, where do I start from? And I watched one of the interviews. He says the first thing that was challenging for them to start up Ogun State was actually accommodation, and that was what gave birth to Ibarra Housing Estate. And from there, we've been having government after governors, military administrators to civilian governors, and here we are today, 50 years. So to you, as a former deputy speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, how will you assess an evaluation, give the evaluation of legislative governance in Ogun State, talking about, legislation?
Well, thank you for the question, because 50 years is a long time. No matter how old you are, if 50 is taken away from your age, the remaining will be a change. So Ogun State attaining 50 years is a good one. And to the question, like Ogun State has tried and has achieved a lot by building institutions and not individuals. So that is why you have seen people that have been part of the institution, the executive, the governance, and the legislative arms, and also the judiciary. So that is what really makes a state. That is what determines, because if we concentrate more on individual, I know there will be people, individual with exceptional brilliance, but you still need to make sure we have good institutions, and that is what we sustain whatever either your predecessors or what you at the moment you are doing. But if you base it so much on me or what I can do. So in the area of legislation, I'm very happy and I'm proud to say that Ogun State legislators in the past and the present have really done very well. When it's time, legislative arm of Ogun State did not really make themselves, they didn't set out like some people will expect that, oh yeah, go fight the governor, do this. No, but we all sit down, talk, and then accept, reject, and everything. We work together. Then when it's time to put your feet down for the benefit of the good people of the state, yeah, the legislative arm have been doing that. And one good thing going for Ogun State is that the past, because when we were there, we always refer to the old legislators. And as we speak now, we now even have what we call former legislative forums in Ogun State. And there's another one they call, that we have, that is the former presiding officers. So we've got two now. So that shows that we still synergize, we still cross-fertilize ideas, and then all in the interest of the state, so that we want the state to move forward. It is not a one-man show. And if we look at what has happened, when Otumba Benga Daniel came, a lot of people said, oh, he did this, he's done that, oh, he tried. When Senator Bikola Amosu came, he also said, yes, he's doing this, he's doing that, he did it. But when this administration came on board, and the governor now put the two together and say, I've done more roads than the two predecessors combined together, and nobody has been able to come forward to challenge that fact. That's a statement of fact. So it's not taken away from anybody. Everybody have done their bit. And is showing something that whoever that is coming, Ogun State will be expecting that you should pack all the tree and do more. So the healthy competition is for the benefit of the people of Ogun State.
Okay, let's talk more about the legislative aspects. You've mentioned how you synergize, you ask questions, and also those that have been there before you, you still have the synergy up to now. But I want you to tell us about legislative arm of Ogun State at that time and now. You know, 50 years ago, we can't expect that the kind of developments that we have now will be there then. And I'm sure that the House of Assembly that we know now is not the one that was there. So I want to just maybe just give us a glance of what it was and what it is now.
Okay, thank you. The First Republic, when Ogun State Assembly was created, late Baba Ajayi from Ikene was the first speaker. Then I remember when he died, we all as legislators, because he died during our own time, we all went there. We really participated, we took part, and that is to tell we don't leave ourselves, we all work. When the father of the former commissioner for agriculture and one-time DG lands, Mrs. Yetunde Shokefun, her father was a former deputy speaker.
Yeah.
When the good man passed on, we did the same thing, and it's been like that. It's a tradition. We hold ourselves once you've been there. When we came on board, the legislative quarters that we met, where we smile, oh, this house, 2-bedroom and this, but it gives us joy that some people toiled to make sure that this thing is in place, and that is what is been there. If you look at, I'm not taking anything away from them, as big as Lagos is, they don't have that. All their assemblies, they live, they scattered over. But we have a place that we can say, okay, this is our legislative quarters. I went to so many states, and I used to be proud that we have a place we can call. Many a times we will have unfinished job at the office, and we all say, okay, tonight, so time, we meet at the speaker's house, we meet at the majority leader's house, we meet at the deputy speaker's house, and we continue our work, even till late in the night. It's because we have a place that we know is safe, is secure, and we can easily get ourselves. It's not that I'm from Imeko, after sitting I have to rush back to Imeko. I'm from Ayetoro, oh, I'm rushing or I'm going on less or no. We all take our time, and this is due to the fact that some people sat down then and look at, yes, this thing is necessary, and let it
must be in place.
It must be in place. So if somebody now today thinks that, okay, yeah, the houses then, 2 bedrooms, okay, well, we need to improve on it. We need to take it to the next level. I think after 50 years, that is a welcome development, so that we will be somebody that is planning 50, 70 years ahead, not that people that want to be stagnated.
Okay, as lawmaker, do you think, the citizen participation, talking about what we used to have and now, do you think there is a kind of improvement? You know, you were in the assembly, and your own is just to make laws, to pass, motion, and to look at what can be put in place, backed by law. Do you think citizen participation, let's look at the people, that sense of belonging? You're talking about dividends of democracy. It doesn't have to be maybe when you give them empowerment items, but dividends of democracy is because they also have a sense of belonging. They are part of governance. So are you going to tell us that participation of citizens of Ogun State has improved over the years, when you look at a general overview of developments as it's cut across all sectors?
Yeah, I can tell you boldly, people of Ogun State are highly, inclined. They know what they want. Where you will know is whenever you have a bill and you have a public hearing, come and see the response, come and see the output. And even when you are not even looking at something, come and see the bill be sponsored by not the executive, not the legislature, people-oriented bills. You will see people from various constituencies sending bills through their representatives. And also, they so much believe in their legislative arm that many a times they bring up issues. I remember we had to deal with so many issues that people will come. You see, many ballers, the KBACs, they will come in their regalias, all of them. They will see them. Even sometimes when we have itches that, okay, we're starting by 10, and a bit, you know, after 10 hours, they will have been there, 9:30, 9 in the morning. So that shows that they are highly enthusiastic about their state. It is not about them. They always turn out. I remember when my very good friend, Honorable Murphy of blessed memory, close six years ago, tomorrow that I lost a friend. So may God, you know, rest his soul. We were doing one school because we discovered that it was people that called our attention to it. Students, excuse me, people were encroaching on school lands. There was one in Ifo, very close. The person actually built hotel on a school land. And you can discover that even from the hotel, you can stretch your hand and pick a student from the school. From the classroom. Wow. And it was people that raised the alarm, and they came, and we had to, and thank God to the governor, then Senator Biklamoso. He did very well, and because he supported the move, we did a lot of go around. And then we also did, even that time, that was the first time we had our public hearing, not in the mail because the crowd was so much. We had to do a canopy outside
the
and if you see
complex.
outside the assembly complex, and the response and the support of everybody. So that was how we were able to stop the menace. I don't know what the situation is now, because you know people, when they have somebody that put his foot down, they will retreat. But when they see that, oh, they are gone, the new ones are not really aware or whatever, they want to go back, because it's a very bad thing. People encroaching on school lands.
That justifies the fact that people are actually participating. Yeah, Denisola, you have the floor.
Okay. Now, we have talked about the legislative arm. Let's now come to the public now, because I believe that Prince Wale Oyekoya is here to represent we, the commoners of Ogun State. Okay, let's talk about when you're growing up in Ogun State. When you're growing up, you know, I just want to take us back a bit because of the new generations. When I left home this morning, my daughter was asking so many questions about the states, and I cannot answer. I cannot answer it myself. So I said, okay, when on the program today, I'm going to get some insights. When I come back, if you don't watch, I'll come and tell you. Okay. Okay, now I want us to take us back to before Ogun State was created. If you cannot say much, at least you will know the beginning, how everything started, just in a few seconds.
Well, definitely everybody have a sense of belonging in Ogun State, either you are still young or old. I remember I was in secondary school then.
Wow.
And agriculture used to be the mainstay. Have to be the mainstay. And I still believe up to this moment. We are one of the states that are really doing good when it comes to agriculture.
Wow.
Not only because of the vast land that we have, but the importance of agriculture to Ogun State really matters. And you have to remember that our father, Olusegun Obasanjo, when he was still the head of state, that was when we have the Operation Feed the Nations. Up to this moment, most of the successful government, the federal, still believe in this Operation Feed the Nation, where they believe that everybody should be able to feed their nucleus family. So agriculture then, and not to talk of only agriculture alone, when you look at the art craft that we have, especially in Abeokuta, this adire, it has come a long way. But people thought that, well, we have a government that is very focused now, that took it to the next level. The former governor tried it also, Ibikunle Amoso, when he declared that place that, yes, must be a hub of adire. But the new governor we have today that is very focused, you see that all the time he always put on the adire, just to showcase that, yes, I'm very proud of Ogun State, and I'm very proud of the anti-craft that we have in Ogun State. So this is what most of our young children should emulate. that everything should not be about English wares. It shouldn't be about all these suits. But we should be able to showcase and promote our own inheritance.
I even want to, buttress your point there. I think His Excellency Prince Dr. Abiodun should be given ambassador of Adire. Since he came aboard, he's been, showcasing that indigenous fabric, and it makes it mandatory for all workers in Ogun State. You must at least once a week come to work. We are here in OGTV. Thank God today is not Friday. We would have seen the two of us in our Adire, and we can see Honorable Tola Banjo showcasing Adire for Ogun at 50. Anyways, thank you so much for that insightful one, taking us back to understand how Ogun State has been and how agriculture has been the mainstay of the economy. But, we would continue to ask questions 50 years down the lane, and agriculture, food security, and rural development. How has it been? You also have an impact on this administration. You're also a consultant to Ogun State Governor on agriculture, and of course, you are a public analyst who understand, where people are coming from, what we should, put on the table, and in terms of development, what we should be talking about. Let me now look at agriculture. Where are we as a nation? There are advancement in technology now. People are not more going to farm. I have a backyard farm that I do myself. I have my own farm too. But you can't compare that to everybody wants to go to farm and the advancement in technology now. So how do you come in? What more do you think we can do as a state to embrace technology and to actually develop, in terms of making agriculture the mainstay of the economy, making sure that we are not relying, the over-reliance on oil has taken the nation far backward, yes, far back to talk the least. But now agriculture has been the major occupation of the people of Ogun State, and that has been why Ogun State still remain, more like a food basket, industrial hub, because people think most of these things can be achieved here in Ogun State. What do you think we can do as a state to, move forward and be able to compete globally in terms of food security?
Well, you have to understand that food security is one of the basic things that the government owes its citizens. And that is why you see most of the state government and the federal government, they lay more focus on food security, apart from the insecurity that we're having that the government are trying to manage. When we talk of food security, the present government, I won't talk about the present government, I'm still coming to it, but if you look at the previous government, there's no government in the previous time that you would not even focus on agriculture, because they believe that a hungry man is going to die an angry person. If you let him lose out, it's going to affect everybody. So everybody needs to be fed. And every government that has been coming to Ogun State, that's why I keep on saying that we've been having a progressive government in this state, that they always focus on agriculture. So coming down to this present administration, yes, he's trying to balance up the olden days of farming to the modern way. Because if you look at the youth of what we have today, you cannot tell them to go to the farm with a cutlass or hoe. They will just laugh at you.
Yeah, it's to them like an hard labor.
Yes, it's like you're punishing them.
Yes.
So what does the present government do now is to merge it with technology, modern equipment. That's why we have all over the state now. You have so many value chains all over. And value chain is adding value to whatever we're producing. And this is part of the advancement of technology in agriculture. So we have a whole lot of land that is being allocated to farmers, that people that wanted to do farming, and most of the youths have been encouraged. Actually, you see this target, this gadget we have, our youth can do more with it, not just socializing on social media or Facebook. You could make millions from this phone by marketing some of this food produce that some of the farmers are producing that they don't have access to the market.
Yes, I was going to talk about the access to the market. That's the next question. Sorry to cut you in there. just like a backup to my previous question, the rural communities, these are more into agriculture than, those of us, yes. Then how do you think they are benefiting from the agricultural value chain? Yes, let me say this, the administration of Prince Dakwa Abiodun also laid more emphasis to agriculture because it's part of the pillar Ishaya, and it is the last of that, Ishaya pillar. And agriculture and food security, then you were talking about, okay, just go to the farm, whatever you're doing, there is, an off-taker who will come pick it up from you. Your own is just to farm, but to get market for it is not difficult. These are things that the government of Prince Dakwa Abiodun was like, talking about and making, bringing to the table for people to see that, okay, making it agriculture more attractive to people. But now, talking about the people in the rural area, in this value chain, how do you think they will benefit to achieve the value chain development in agriculture?
Well, they are really benefiting through the OG step in the sense that agriculture, the government we have today now have taken the agriculture to everybody's door.
Okay.
And you have to understand that 60% of our farmers today are women. That's why I always commend women most of the time. And that is why you see so many programs going towards the women
in the rural areas.
In the rural areas. And there's a place now that when you produce it at the farm, it might be difficult for you to bring it to the town, maybe due to transportation for the security. But there's a center where you can take some of this produce to. And there's a center, after packaging some of this produce to the centers, they add value to it. That is why they, like cassava, that's why you see so many. If you look at the price of most of the food prices now, they're already gone down. Thanks to the government for the initiative or what they have put there that, yes, the price of food must come down. Many people might not be able to afford it. But at the same time, the price have really gone down compared to about 2-3 years ago. Yes. And it's part of the initiative of Mr. President that he challenged all the state governors, go back to the farm, take your people back to the farm so that every state should be able to feed their citizens. And you can say that it's happening now. So to me, yes, the accessibility of the market, most of the women are really getting it, and most of the youth are really tapping into it. That's why I said that this gadget alone, a lot of youth are really making money out of it by, there's something we call warehousing. That we have a warehouse where some of these farm produce are there, and you just go there and market it through your gadget like that.
Okay, let's just move away from agri bits. We can still come back to it, but let's talk about the economic growth and development of Ogun State as it is. You know that currently we know that Ogun State has built on the current industrial and economic progress. So we need to now look forward, like our topic says, expectations as Ogun State clocks 50. Now, we know that we are progressing in that aspect and we still want to progress. So I want Honorable Tola Banjo to just tell us what you think maybe the government should put in place to sustain and even to make the industrial progress to continue, that will continue to be progressive in that aspect. We are known for that. They know that Ogun State is an industrial hub of the Southwest, even for now.
Of the nation.
So let's just...
In Africa.
Maybe in the world later.
Okay.
But let's just talk about how we are going to sustain that, so that our children will still continue to say yes.
At least we must keep the template.
Let's just talk about it.
You say one major way that you can do your sustain or be industrialized or sustain the one you have at the moment is a network. Road network plays a major role. If I know that if I'm in Agbara and I'm producing, and to get it to where the market is, say Lagos, say Abeokuta and everything, is difficult. Then that will add cost onto my production and everything, and it make me less competitive. I won't be able to compete. But if you have a good network, like the governor said something, and I've actually passed through the road from next to interchange, going to Papaland Toro. You see, that place has been there for too long, abandoned. So if you look at that alone, you see, one thing I noticed, one thing I say about the present administration is that, like in Ijebu, the governor was in Ijebu, he actually commissioned 3 roads. But yes. I don't know why he said 2 roads. He commissioned New Road, Oshinobi, and then Grammar School Road, where he compressed the Oshinobi and make it one road. And he kept saying he commissioned 1 road. But he commissioned 3 roads. But where I'm going is this. These are not roads that leads to nowhere. These are roads that leads to connectivity. Those roads leads to Igbeba Road that takes you to Ijebu Northeast, and on the east side it takes you to Ijebu East. That's the connectivity. On this other side, the grammar school leads to Obalende, which takes you to Odogbolu and takes you out of. So these are connection. And if you look at this next to Agbara, next to Papaland Toro that we're talking about. So that means you don't need to get to where you are not going before getting to where you're going. For example, somebody bringing his stores out from Ilaro from the west, you can actually get to Abeokuta or to the east. But it is now, if you get to Papaland Toro, you need to come to Abeokuta first, then turn, and then what are you coming to do in Abeokuta if you are going to the east?
So that is getting to where you are not going
before getting to where you are going.
That's a big one.
In doing that, that means you've wasted enough time, you've wasted more fuel, then when you get to the east to sell your goods, you need to put price. And another thing about the road is that when we're in government, this new road that the governor did from express in Ijebu to Ekpe, the people of Itamakpako, Odonoko, Odonewu, and also they are agrarian, people. And I went there. They were all complaining because why? There were 2 bridges from inland there to get to the main road, and there's a market on the main road. And I investigated why is this market not functioning again and everything.
Because of the people
they can't bring out their listing. And I said, okay, don't worry. When I get there, we'll resuscitate this market, and we pray that this road will be done, because immediately the road is fixed, people will be plying it, and as they ply it, you are doing your gari, you are doing your plantain, your cassava, which you can sell. That is the value. And now the road is there, but many people look at the road alone, they are not seeing the impact on the people, the benefit on the people there. I know this because I was involved when we were looking at how to solve it, and the road being done now, it has increased the value, the economic value of the people there. They need not be commissioner, they need not be SA, but they are benefiting from the work of the governor, because on average now, maybe then 10-20 cars a day, but in an hour now, about 50-100 cars passes there. And when they are going, they will stop by, buy their palm oil, buy their cassava, buy their gari and everything. So that is why I said that is at the low scale, because it's still industrialization. That is their own industry. If we talk of industrialization, we don't always necessarily need to put our mega cap on and be looking at the big companies alone. Something starts small, then it grows big. And the agriculture, like my brother said, I've been to Imomo, the Imomo, Odoaye, and all those areas. I saw the agricultural development. They now have cassava processing plants where the people can take their cassavas to, and they will help them process it, instead of it taking like 2 weeks and longer before they process it, before they wait for it to dry.
Fermented.
Yeah, fermented and everything. They now have places there that can really process all these gari for them faster, cheaper, and brings out more quality. The same thing in Odeda, because by the grace of God, I'm the Director General of GMT, Grassroots Movement for Tinubu in Ogun State. We went to Odeda, and one of the things, even one of the people that follow me, I said, where is Madam Busola? She said, I went to meet my people, our Gari people, because that is our home area, and we
Odeda is the home of Gari.
Yes, and we saw this processing plant there also, and you know, that is because if you are hungry, no matter the idea in your head, you can't.
Because an hungry man is an angry man.
You can't really do it. So in agricultural area, you cannot fault this present administration. And Mr. President is doing a lot. I was in Omora and I made the essay to the president on agriculture, and we got talking, and he said that the president actually analyzed that in the past, the way they dealt with agriculture up there is a one-way. They just buy tractors that suit one section of the nation, they just go there. But now, Mr. President is like, okay, what type of soil, what type of, what is this landscape in your area? So now we are going to see more of tractors like D8, D6 that are clearing road, not those ones that just make ridges.
Nigeria is on the verge of
we are going for food security, and the companies, you know, let's not talk about the mega ones. The governor is, you know, really trying, is bringing them in droves. There is a torrent of influx
in Ogun State.
In Ogun State,
yes, we have numbers,
and they must be saying something, because nobody will just come and ping 1.5 billion investment where things is not safe.
You have even, you know, spoken well when you talk about road network, because when there are no roads, it affects the economic growth, because you cannot say I have my produce from the rural area and bringing it to town, maybe to have market for my produce is a bit difficult. Then I keep it in the rural area there, and whatever I'm able to make is what I will live with. But when I have a bigger market to take my stuff to, with the help of good road network, I think it goes a long way to help. And I must say that you know, the strategic approach of this current administration in terms of fixing roads, he has spoken, or Ogun Banjo has spoken about roads in the maybe he's talking about the Jebu, you know, the link roads. We can also talk about several of it here in the central. You know, going back, you will know that when you're going to Elites, some areas in Obantoko, there are adjoining communities that do not have good road, but these have been fixed, and it makes, you know, movement easier for the people. So it's a commendable thing that Ogun State at 50, we still have something to talk about. Yes, you are just a lawmaker. I will not say you don't do other things, you have other things you do, but of course you are a youth, you're a young man who is also doing something, and you have generations looking forward to see, okay, this is my role model, I'm aspiring to become Honorable Tola Banjo. When you look at youth development of Ogun State since creation 50 years, what you have to say, you know, talking about their involvement in what we do, it doesn't have to be involvement in governance, but how do you express or analyze youth development going forward, and where do you, you know, being futuristic, where do you see the development of youth of Ogun State in the next 50 years? We're just 50 years. We know that some youth are doing exploit, some have been able to carve a niche for themselves, but when you look at the general population, youth takes almost 70% of the state's population. So where are we, and where are we going in the future? What do you say to this?
Oh, well, that's a very good one, because Yoruba will say, Oro taban she taban lomode seyin for ma parun ni. Whatever we are doing, and we are pushing back the youths or the children, that thing is deemed to, you know, to go to extinction, because there won't be anybody to take over. This is Ogun State that we know the likes of our Papa Blaniun, Ogun Banjo, and they are industrialists. And I'm happy that our youth nowadays, they are beginning to, although it's difficult now, more than it was then, we need to be factual, because access to loan, access to grants and everything is not as easy as it used to be, but they are still pulling their weight. The youth, I don't know where you categorize me. If you
You're in between. You're in between.
Okay, but
Young adults.
the youth now, they are really trying. They are really trying. Don't let us be, carried away or get it because of the few ones that are doing the wrong thing.
Okay, because
if you look at the population, if you have population of about 10 million and we have about 100 misbehaving, it's because the bad news make headlines. That is why we are not getting what the youth in Ogun State are doing. Our youths are doing very well. I was shocked in the area of sports. I went to Alake Sports Center, and if you see the way people drove in every evening to train, to try and excel, and to, you'll be shocked. And I'm happy that the state hosted this
Gateway Games.
Before now,
Okay.
Ogun State don't have a swimming pool. It was this administration that made it happen for the first time. We used to use Gateway Hotel, but when it was taken over, no place. So you cannot blame the kids if they have the energy and nowhere to take it. But this administration made it like, okay, yes, if you want to be a boxer, there was a time the military, they have their boxing everywhere, and they came to Ogun State. They gave us a date, like let's say we are coming on Friday, but they came earlier. And they called me, we are around, and I said, but it's Friday. They said, no, we are not. So when I now got to the venue, they brought their team fighting with Ogun State team, and I asked, I won't mention the name of the state. They said the reason why we are here earlier is because the state we are supposed to fight before here, they don't have a boxing ring. How do you explain that? And we are blaming our youth. How do you want them to burn their energy and to excel when a state doesn't have a boxing ring?
Things can always get better. We must continue to.
Just because of time, I would have wanted us to talk about education, because that's another aspect that Ogun State is known for. But due to time, I would just want us to say one or two, maybe Honorable Banjo can say one, and Prince Wale Okoya would say another, because I love the growth that I've seen in the education sector of Ogun State. Talking about, if you talk about the state that has a large number of people functioning even after school, like alumni, alumnus, and alumni, students, yes, thank you. So you say that Ogun State is famous for that. So now I just want you to give one or two advice to the government in this sector, because this must continue. We must be able to sustain it till many generations to come.
No backward at all.
No,
we must be going forward.
Must, especially in the education sector. So I want you to say one advice, you say another.
Okay, my advice is I want people to give back to the institution that has made them, because government alone cannot do it. Even go to the Ivy schools abroad, all these Oxford and the likes, they still get support from individuals. Recently, one of the alumnus of the Oxford, the woman, he said she paid for all the medical students
in the school.
I think he said is for many 10 years or for eternity. So these are the kind of things we're talking about. Government alone cannot grow education. Like I told people when we're in government, I said education is not cheap anywhere. What the government promise is that we are going to give you free education. And if you look at it, what is education? Education is the ability to read and write. Any other thing is semantics. If you go to the university, you are learning a trade, you are learning how to make money. So if you want somebody to give you free university education, we can as well say we want to give free learning to somebody learning mechanic, learning vulcanizer and everything. Your education is primary and secondary school. Whatever you are learning at the higher institution, they are building on the foundation. If your foundation around, so the education in Ogun State, primary, secondary school is free. And now, thank God for the president, we have now net fund, which is even better than what we used to have abroad. Because if you get loan, I used to tell them, I remember...
Honorable Banjo, let's have Prince Wale say something, maybe his final words to the people as we celebrate our 50, just few seconds to do that.
Well, I just want all the citizens of Ogun State to cooperate with the present government. They'll be doing their best, and everything cannot be done by the government alone, and we should stop criticizing what we don't really know, so that we can just give a full support to the government that is here now and the government that is upcoming. Everybody's hand must be on deck.
Thank you so much. It's a beautiful one to have you talk about Ogun State and the future expectation. And I must say that as Ogun State marks 50 years, one truth stands clear, and the future is that we should think about how the future will be shaped by choices we made at a particular point in time. And on that note, I want to say many thanks to our guest on the show today, Prince Wale Oyekoya and Honorable Tola Banjo. It's been nice having you in the conversation this morning. Thank you for being part of the show. Yes, that's going to be the size of the program. From myself and Doyisola, we'll say goodbye till we'll come your way again next week for another interesting episode of Roundtable. Until then, stay blessed and remain, the lover and good ambassador of Ogun State. Doyisola.
What do I have to say again? Just be a good ambassador and make sure you celebrate in your own too. If you cannot go out, make sure you celebrate the state, because we are the Ogun State.
Ogun Share.
Share.